Thank you so much for joining us today, Sanjeet. I'm personally super excited to have this conversation with you. I think there's a lot of curiosity around Disney's licensing business and how, without being too much on the forefront, the brand is a part of all of our lives, right? So it's just beautiful and yes, magical.
Yeah. I mean, firstly, thank you so much for the invite, and I think he built it up. He a little over the top. I'm not the genie. I just work in Disney, and that's about it.
So I want to start by first getting your outlook on the entire concept of narrative-driven retail, and of course, if you can dive a little into Disney's strategy behind it. What is the thought process behind it?
I think whenever we talk about the Walt Disney Company, this is always a great place to start because storytelling is at the heart of what we do as a company. And if you look at it, like our characters, the storytelling behind our characters is not just on screen, but we seamlessly sort of transcend that experience into products, experiences, and at retail. And we've been doing this at scale and for a really, really long time consistently, for over 100 years. We celebrate our 100 years this year. And we do it in a way that no other company has done it. We are globally the world's largest licensor with over $60 billion of retail sales. But at the heart of it is a story. And I'll touch upon how we build it from the Disney consumer products business. And as you would have guessed, at the center of that is the product. We create stories in the product itself. There are a few ways we do it. I'll just touch upon a few ones that we use quite regularly with our partners. The first one is what we call as a 365 evergreen approach, where we have our favorite characters like Spidey, Mickey Mouse, Snow White, and a lot of these evergreen characters. Everyone has a unique personality, a unique story, and we translate that into products, whether it's a doll, whether it's a t-shirt, whether it's a school bag, and we infuse on-trend moments from time to time so that we connect with audiences in the moment, whether it's a Gen Z consumer, whether it's a young adult audience or a kid. The second way that we do this is what we call as theme-based products, where we take certain themes. It could be a movie, for example, with the Deadpool movie coming up. That's a huge event for us. That's a huge theme for us. So you'll see a lot of Deadpool-themed merchandise around celebrating that story, the movie, that moment that we will have through that event. Another example is we're also celebrating Donald Duck's 90th anniversary. That again celebrates the quirkiness of that character in a very unique way. So that's the second way we do it. We also use technology to our advantage to create narrative-driven business through products, augmented reality and a lot of other such things. And the last is we use collabs quite frequently. A great example of this recently is we've done a luxury streetwear brand with Shah Rukh Khan. We've done Wrong with Virat Kohli. We had a great collaboration with Sabyasachi for the Disney 100 celebration, the celebration that we had for 100 years. So those are just ways of how we create stories and narratives into our business.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. That was quite detailed. Being a global brand, when you expand into the India market, how do you adapt to the local taste? And just before in the session earlier to this, we were discussing about personalization as well. How do you sort of personalize it for the Indian consumer, for them, by them, sort of?
Again, it's a great question. I think localization is extremely important for us. Not just for Disney consumer products, but it's a philosophy that goes across all our businesses. What we strive to do is we strive to maintain some kind of balance, a balance between, our global stories and characters. So we try to stay consistent with that, with the global base that is built. And then at a local level, we add certain nuances and touches that appeal to the local audience. A great example of this is, how our studio's marketing team has built the Marvel business through some really innovative local marketing tactics and strategies. Uh, and this has opened like newer markets, newer territories for Marvel as a brand. Uh, and a lot of people don't know more than half of Marvel movies are watched in languages other than English. And that means we are really connecting with the true India, the real India. And that brings a lot of opportunity for us as, the consumer products division, where we do various things across our brand. So we've got, on the product level, we've got partners like Manyavar for Marvel, where we do wedding wear with them. We've done a range with Biba. We continue to do some stuff with them. We've done Satyapal saris in the past. So we do a lot of stuff on the product side, but we also have some really quirky intervention on design, where we take our classic characters like Marvel Comics and we build a very, very iconic Indian art style, like the t-shirt that I'm wearing. It's the Desi truck art. And we do that, and it has massive appeal amongst the young audience. We sell it on Soul Store, Bewakoof, and other online stores. So that's how we localize. So it's a mix of how we take our global stories and reach out to audiences here.
Wonderful. I think Marvel with Manyavar, that's quite a combination.
Yeah, it is very unique.
So for partnerships like this, when you work with retailers and brands, a two-tier question, one, what are the challenges when a partnership like this is formed, and of course the mutual benefits that the two parties enjoy?
Yeah, I think, globally, Disney is in a unique position. We've been around for 100 years. We have a robust set of, characters that resonate with consumers, and it has stood the test of time. And that's always a great starting point and retailers and partners sort of know that and respect that and trust us that we've been doing this consistently. That's a great starting point for us to build a long-term relationship with anyone, be it retailers, be it a brand partner or whatever. And we've done that successfully over the past lots of decades. I think at a macro level, the way we build partnerships with retail is at 3 levels. One is at a product level, where we work really closely with retailers to create ranges for the right age groups, across the right characters, with the right trends. We also work with them on, like I said, evergreen range, which is 365, never runs out of style, never runs out of stock. And then we do some event-led stuff where we bring in traffic and conversion on events such as back to school, movie-led events and all of that. So we integrate a lot into that product. The second place where we work closely with retailers is our brand of storytelling through visual merchandising. Great examples are the Primark store, where we really do a great job of, dressing up the windows with our favorite stories and even just the product. And the last one I would like to touch upon is we work closely with retailers to build bespoke as well as, across the board marketing campaigns. I would say the Disney 100 celebration is an excellent example of how we bring that magic of Disney through campaigns. And these are campaigns that really create that differentiation for each retailer, that help them drive families to the stores and, buy, convert, and purchase our products.
Wonderful. Got it. When we talk about creating for India, just an added follow up. How do you create for a diverse set of age groups as well?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, again, I'd like to take the example of Marvel here, and it's true for Disney as well. So if you look at the Marvel brand, we consistently study the consumer, we research the consumer, and consistently in the kids age group, Spider-Man and Avengers come out as um, top superheroes for the kids. But if you look at the young adult side, it's not any different. In fact, the young adult audience, there is also popularity which is wider. So it goes into Deadpool, Wolverine, Punisher, and these kind of things. And that's quite evident in the way we run our business, because if you look at our Marvel business, which is a really sizable business for us, more than half of our business comes from the young adult age group. And we do a lot of work in fashion, consumer electronics, and a lot of other categories. But I think there is one really good partnership that I like to touch upon over here is TVS Motors. As you all know, it is a leading two-wheeler company. We have a range of Marvel bikes with them. And these are not limited edition. These are not like, special edition. We've been doing this business for 3 years under the Ntorq brand. There's a range of Marvel. Each bike has a superhero theme to it. And we've sold over 250,000 bikes over here and still going strong. In fact, they're so happy with the partnership and the association that just a couple of months back, we launched a range of Marvel motorbikes under the brand Raider. So there is a, like we call Marvel we used to call it 4 to 40, but from our research, it goes much beyond 40 as a brand, Marvel. So.
Wonderful. I think that is quite unique. Again, for the India market currently, which are the top driving retail and distribution channels for you? And also, how do you look at the emerging channels to play a part in your strategy?
Yeah, I think, just to understand the context of this, I think I'll just take a couple of steps back to give you the backdrop of our business in India, because the answer is not simple over here. If you look at our business, we're a highly diversified business. We operate in over 100 product categories across age groups. We have product partnerships from diapers to motorbikes and from toys to designer wear. We've got a really, really wide spread. So that's the backdrop of our business. And if you look at the India landscape, right, the retail landscape, it's quite fragmented. And our single approach in this business since the last few decades has been to build availability and distribution. And with that lens, we just follow the consumer on where that consumer is buying. And therefore, my answer to this question is, we would have a separate channel for if it's an FMCG product. The distribution focus would be different if it was a fashion product, and so on and so forth. So all channels are really sort of relevant for us. Having said that, I think in the last few years, modern trade, brick and mortar, and we've spoken about how we work with them at scale, and e-commerce have really sort of been quite important for us. And e-commerce specifically, like you said, emerging channels is something that, like the rest of the brands, e-commerce is a really important sort of aspect of our business. It's about a third of our revenue comes from the e-commerce channel. It's a high growth sort of channel for us, and we work really closely with all players over there. And again, we bring that same kind of Disney magic over there. We've got annual events called the Disney Carnival and Fantastic Bazaar that we work with, Amazon, Flipkart, and the others. And this is not just about selling products. We bring our unique storytelling of characters through products, and we help the e-tailers drive traffic and, more importantly, conversion.
Just to follow up on that, how do you see the addition of quick commerce as a channel?
Yeah, quick commerce it's early days for us, to be honest. And I think one of the things that we've always wanted at Disney and is we want to go into the daily consumption basket. To that end, I think we've got some very, very promising partnerships with Country Delight in the area of FMCG. We do see some of our back-to-school business going into quick commerce. So we are sort of, it's early days for us, but I think quick commerce is something that will be a focus for us going forward.
Very insightful. Just one final question, Sanjeet. As a global brand, how does Disney look at India as an opportunity? And if you can highlight one or two key trends that you believe will be shaping the industry, especially in 2024.
I think the overall headline is, India is a huge growth opportunity for India, for Disney, and I think we would be the market that is, just in percentage terms, the highest growth for us globally. But I think that's going to be for decades to come, given the India opportunity. I think there are three things why we feel really optimistic about the India opportunity. One, obviously, the macro factors. I'm sure a lot of speakers have spoken about, where there is per capita income of the country that is there is GDP growth, there is more disposable income, the middle class is growing, etc. So all of that is culminating to businesses getting a better share of that wallet. The second part, I think, which is again external to us, but it's quite an important trend, is content consumption and entertainment brands are burgeoning. People are consuming content and entertainment like never before, and I don't think that's going to die down into the future. And the third point, which is internal to us, is I think at this point in time, we are really, really well positioned in terms of content and brands and entertainment from our point of view, with really strong affinity for all our characters and brands to take advantage of this and going forward. So I think we will see the high growth well into the decade. In terms of future trends, I think there'll be more and more content-led brands that will emerge. Marvel is a great example of that again. About 15 years or so back, Marvel was a very niche brand in India. And then, we released the first movie of the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And after that, we've released about 25 plus movies plus TV series. All of them have done really well at the box office. But more importantly, it's, recruited millions and millions of fans out there. And each of these fans, whatever age group they are, they want to take a piece of that story home. And we are at the front and center of that as a thing. So Marvel today, I would say, from all the research that we do, all the consumer work that we do, it is no longer a content brand. It's a pop culture brand. It's a lifestyle brand, and we're going to see a lot more of that going into the future. And we feel really, really optimistic from where we are sitting. We've got about 20 movies and a lot of more content coming up in the next 18 to 24 months. So I think, it's just the beginning for us.
Wonderful. I think that was a great point, and you're absolutely right. Content to commerce is one of the key trends to shape retail across the world, going forward. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sanjeet. This was a super insightful chat. Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.